Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIV on the PC. We are going to finish the patch 5.1 content today and get started on 5.2. So that's that. Before we get into it, though, last time I was just struck in the head with this idea that I started talking about of doing like a lengthy summarization of the Final Fantasy XIV story. And you know, I said that this does not exist. This lengthy summary, 30 hours long or whatever, does not exist. Unless someone out there can point me to it, I don't think it exists. And even if it did, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But I don't think it exists. And yet, I think it's something that would have value to a lot of people. And I mentioned, of course, that if anyone would be capable of doing it, it would be someone like myself that does professional summaries. I mean, that's what I do. That's my job description, I suppose. Professional summaries. And so, yeah, the idea was just bouncing around in my head. And I asked family, I asked friends, I was like, what do you think of this? What is this idea? And then I made a community post on the Exploring series asking, what would people be interested in this? You think this would be a cool idea? I didn't really go into great detail. It was just basically I said a lengthy summary of Final Fantasy XIV's story. And the general consensus among everyone was basically, if this is something that you want to do, you should do it. And at the end of the day, I agree. Because the idea of these videos don't exist and I want to make them exist is what started the Exploring series. I mean, that's how it started with Cthulhu. That sort of detailed summary of Cthulhu itself did not exist when I made that video. Believe it or not. It might have existed, but I didn't see it. And that's what inspired me, because I like Cthulhu, and I was like, I can make this video. I want to make this video. And I think other people will be interested. And that's how it's all started. And I think it's the same thing here with these videos. And so I think I'm going to do it. It's funny because I'm not even done yet with the current content, but we're pretty close. And I'm not like super thrilled about the idea of doing it all over again right away, but it is going to be very different going through it a second time with a different focus, the focus of making videos about it. And so what it really is going to be is sort of like a I don't even know how to explain. I have a perfect idea in my head of exactly how I want the videos to be, but I don't know how to explain it. Basically, I want to treat the game, the entire story, up through Shadowbringers, as like a series, as like a television show. And I want to like metaphorically divide the entire story of the game into like episodes. And so just, this is not set in stone at all, but say levels like 1 through 5. It probably won't be based on levels, it'll be based on story points, but just for a general idea. Or like, when you first arrive off the boat to when you no, that might be a bit too much, but when you first like pick your grand company, that's probably a bit too long, but something like that would be one episode. and I would basically summarize the events that would occur in that television episode. So we'd shrink it down, we'd condense it down. I would look at all the dialogue, you know, I would look at what is important to the overall story, what is important for character development, what should I include, you know, what should I mention and talk about, what should I cut out, and then if there's any ever, like, voiced cutscenes, I can just include that in the video, like, without me talking over it. Not much, but I do want to have some voiced cutscenes in there because, and not like the entire cutscene maybe, but just like notable bits of dialogue, because I think that really helps with like character development and characterization and things like that, and the big plot points that I don't summarize, I just want to show you. I want this to be as good of a alternative to playing through the game yourself that there is. I want people to say, okay, the only way you can get a better experience of the Final Fantasy XIV story is to just do the entire thing yourself, which is a very daunting task that not many people are going to do, especially as more expansions come out. So it's going to be a big project. Obviously, it's a very long game. There's a lot of story in it. There's a lot of dialogue, and, you know, breaking it down, cutting things out, deciding how to summarize, and doing all the writing and recording and editing. It's a big project. But that's why I decided, instead of being a pet project that I work on maybe in my free time and never actually gets done, I'm going to make it my actual side series for the year of 2021. So I'm going to force myself as part of my job in order to make the videos. And that makes it sound like I don't want to do it. I do want to do it, but by making it part of my job, it guarantees that I will keep to some sort of schedule and that it will get done. I won't like, I don't feel like it this week. That doesn't really happen much when it's like official exploring stuff. Happens sometimes, but not as much. Now, by the time you actually watch this video, I will probably have already released some episodes of that series. So this is all just, basically I'm just talking right now to hear myself speak. I just wanted to vocalize it in some way. I'll probably talk about it elsewhere before, you know, you see this. So this will probably not be the first time you hear of it, but you can then think, okay, this is where Mangg formulated it all. This is where it all got out there. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Chai News returned to Yulmore with his big robots, and he is the mayor, and everyone knows it. No need to fret, Mangg. I have never felt better. And not at all overawed by the prospect of addressing the assembled masses of Yulmore. As for where to do it, if we're to accommodate everyone who might feasibly wish to attend, I suppose the only place large enough would be the Emergent. Then I will go and spread the word among the citizens, both free and bonded, that they are to assemble there to meet their new mayor. You there, Kai Shear, was it? Would you go and inform the residents of Gate Town and the derelicts? Of course I will. Good lad. I will let the guards know not to bar the way to Vauthry's chambers. It goes without saying that I expect the Warrior of Darkness to attend, assuming he's available. Might as well see through to the bitter end, eh? The doorman at the crown lift will show you up. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be kind of nice because I won't have to... It's going to be a lot different than this. I mean, this is like the foundation, what we're doing right now, the actual Let's Play, where I verbally read all the dialogue and all that kind of stuff. But it'll be nice not having to read all the dialogue out loud and do character voices and stuff like that. Just reading it on my own, taking notes, summarizing, blah, blah, blah. Yes, Master Chai told us to expect you. The Emergent is already filling up with people of all persuasions. Free and bonded, citizens and non-citizens. But for you, our guest of honor, we have reserved a place at the front. Right this way, sir.
Go on, dear.
Thank you all for gathering here today. But before going any further, could I ask the free citizens of Yulmore to look around? "'Tis a sight none of us would ever have seen under Lord Forthry's rule. Not only do we stand in the familiar presence of those we once called the Bonded, but today we welcome the peoples of the Derelicts and Gate Town too. Today we welcome the Warriors of Darkness, come to bear witness to Yulmore's new beginning. As you know, an election was recently held, at the end of which I had the honor of being chosen to succeed Lord Forthry. You place great faith in me, and I promise to do my utmost to live up to your expectations, and I will seek always to carry out the duties of this office with integrity and fairness. Always, I say, but not forever. Let it be known that I do not intend to hold this post indefinitely. I consider myself but an acting mayor, who will serve only for the interim, while Yulmore is reshaped according to a new set of values. No longer can we think of ourselves as divided, as the free and the bonded, citizens and non-citizens. The systems put in place by Lord Forthry must be undone. But even as we tear down the old, we must give thought to the new, to what manner of nation Yulmore should become. Whatever the answer may be, it cannot be decided by one man alone. And so I propose that an open forum be held, that we might all discuss how best to strive towards a better future. However, there can be no talk of the morrow unless we first address the issues of today. Securing new sources of food, rebuilding relations with our neighbors, re-establishing industry. There is much and more that needs to be done. Too much for a mere man of business. And so I pledge instead to do everything in my power to ensure our city's security and stability while we all work together to see these problems solved. The road before us will not be easy, and I know full well how daunting the prospect of honest labor may seem to some of you. But we must accept the reality of our circumstances. We must move forward. This much we owe to ourselves and to the brave heroes who risked their lives to bring back the night. Once we have shored up our city's foundations and regained some semblance of normality, let us reconvene to speak of the future. Until then, I humbly ask that you lend me and each other your strength. For Yulmore!
All right. You know, I bet when we first met that guy, you probably didn't think he was going to be so important. That was a fine speech, Master Chai. I believe your words stirred every soul in attendance. Stirred them to action, I hope. If I have learned anything from all of this, it is that change begins with the individual. It is but a matter of finding the strength to take the first step. Assuming my fellow Yulmorans can, it shall be my honor and privilege to help them walk this road we have chosen. But we must not forget the individuals who made all of these changes possible. Were it within my power, I would carve a tribute to your heroism into the very stone upon which this city stands. Mangg like that. I hate to change the subject, darling, but now that you have officially taken office, have you given any thought to your mayoral seat? We will not be moving into the emergent, dearest. It's too big for one thing, and too far from the people for another. We will retain our current residence, and I will govern here in the parlor. Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. I much prefer the view from the parlor. Begging your pardon, Master Chai, but have you got time for a word? Yes, of course, Sir Hathen Bet? Aye, that's me. I liked your speech. There's folks outside these walls that don't even have enough food to last till tomorrow, and more who are counting their crumbs. If you have a plan to change that, I want to help set things in motion. Then we've much to discuss. No sooner do I take office than my work begins in earnest. Well, I suppose I brought it upon myself. Thank you again for your help, Mangg. I hope to see you again before long. What a day. I don't know what it means exactly, but I do know I've got plenty to think about. I sense we all have a great deal to consider. I had resolved to remain here until such time as Yulmore's future was secured, but it is clear to me now that the city is in capable hands. I have every confidence they will find their way, and I believe it is time we went on ours. Well, yeah, we got bigger fish to fry, man. Trying to get your souls back. Delphino's leaving too, is he? Seems like everyone's moving on. Everything's changing. I've been thinking about what I should do in all this. Like I told you, I spent most of my life dreaming about living here with my friends, in paradise. That paradise is gone, but something better is taking its place, and I reckon I want to be a part of it. this Yulmore for the people Master Chai's been going on about ain't gonna build itself after all. Not that I'm much of a builder. Me and my friends will find a way to make a difference, though. Help keep things changing for the better. A far nobler dream than the one to which you clung before, and one I am happy to say we share. Whatever path you choose, I will pray for your success. Well, when you put it like that, there's no going back now, is there? We've got a few ideas on how we can do our bit. Just a matter of taking the first step. Oh, we get Pain and Pleasure, Orchestrion. Nothing like a little music to get the blood stirring. Demon Wall. Alright. Of course I have Guy's card. Alright. Vows of Virtue, Deeds of Cruelty. Truly, to see Kai Shir thus inspired by our actions is inspiring in itself. Yet however much I may wish to stay and see what comes of his efforts here in Yulmore, we have matters of our own to attend to. Come, we should return to the Crystal Tower. Mayhap Beck-Lug's studies have borne fruit in our absence. Alright. It's interesting, I was thinking about... You know, we're gonna have to make, like... like a canonical Warrior of Light. Because that, you know, as we've been playing through this one, I've said that a couple times, like... Mangg here, this little white-haired Lalafell, to me, feels like my Warrior of Light. This is the Warrior of Light. And it's sort of weird to have anyone else, any other character, like some pink-haired cat girl or whatever. That's the Warrior of Light. That's weird to me. Because this guy is the Warrior of Light. But, you know, for an official, not official, but, you know, for like a big, lengthy, professional summary, we're going to have to settle on one specific identity that is the Warrior of Light. And I think we want to go with, like, the most generic possible. We're just going to go with the most generic-looking Hayur, which is, like, a human, basically. And I think we're going to go with a female, just to kind of hedge our bets a little. You know, just so it's not like this is the most vanilla person in the history of persons. But I don't want to do, you know, a Lalafell or the big people or what, you know, I want to be pretty generic, but I think female's fine. And probably we'll just play through the game as a paladin, because I feel like, I mean, it's Warrior of Light, paladin, it's gonna look good in the right armor and stuff. It's gonna be, I think that's compared to like a pugilist or something. I feel paladin's like the you know, Wonder Bread and mayonnaise. A Hayur paladin is the Wonder Bread and mayonnaise of Final Fantasy XIV, and I think that's what we want to go with. So these are the things you got to think about, man. Welcome back. We are given to understand a new mayor has taken office in Yulmore. Indeed. Our good friend Master Chai was elected by popular vote, and after some considerable soul-searching, chose to accept the post. It is a shame you weren't able to attend his inaugural speech, though I have no doubt you will see more of him in the future. But tell me, how fared you in preparing the White Orosite? Our work did not proceed quite as expected. In your absence, we had a frank discussion on the principles of soul transference and concluded at length that White Orosite was ill-suited for our purposes. But Oranger, did you not say that compared to the massy soul of an Ascian, the stone could house one of ours with ease? That I did, and armed as we are with Beck-Lug's invaluable insight, 'twould indeed prove a trifling matter, were we to disregard the inviolable link twixt mind and soul. A link which would, we did belatedly realize, be weakened most perilously in the process of rendering our souls dormant, as Orosite doth require. Thus, the shedding of these fleshy simulacra, and the surfeit of ether which compriseth them, would in all likelihood deprive us of our psyches as well. It would theoretically be possible to channel your minds into the Orosite instead, but we would more than likely sacrifice your souls in the process. Which is why we have abandoned that plan, and instead devoted our time to finding a means by which mind and soul might be transported together. We are no closer to a solution than when we first began. It is a vexing conundrum indeed, but one for which the Crystal Exarch has posited a most intriguing solution. When our discussions turned to the transference of memories and the psyche, I could not help but be reminded of a technique with which I have personal experience. Mangg, do you recall what we learned of my eyes from our encounter with Dolga and Une? I speak of the royal eye of the Allagan imperial line, gifted to my forebears through the blood and memories of the ancient Allagans. It is by this gift that I am able to control the Crystal Tower. If we were to gain an understanding of the technology by which the Allagans were able to accomplish this transference, perhaps then we could keep mind and soul together. Imagine, if you will, a device like unto a soul crystal, replete not only with our worldly memories, but also the bountiful energies of the soul. That is our current avenue of investigation, and we'll follow it wheresoever it leads. While we are thus engaged, I think it best that Mangg return to the source and inform Kryl and the others of our findings. Agreed. I imagine Tataru will be relieved to hear we've made progress of a sort. I would beg leave to relay our findings unto Thancred and Reen. Reen? Right? It's Reen. I haven't played in a while. And to assist where I may in their investigation of the empty. Yes, please do. Should we have need of your counsel, we will not hesitate to summon you. Give our regards to Tataru, won't you? Alright, let's go meet with Tataru. Thought we were meeting with Kryl, but okay. So, yeah, the reason I'm not just going to do New Game Plus with Mangg to redo the whole story is because I don't want to do it as a Lalafell. And I could Fantasia or whatever to change myself, but I want to play as a Lalafell otherwise, so. Mangg, you're back! How did everything go in the first? Wait, don't tell me. Kryl will be here shortly, and she'll want to hear too. She's just tending to the others. Their bodies, I mean. Gods, I don't think I'll ever get used to saying that. Anyway, you can tell us everything the moment she gets here. Alright, several cutscenes. Alright, we've got time, baby. We've got time.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I've carried out the treatment as per Master Matoya's instructions. It should slow the destabilization of their corporeal ether quite significantly. But tell me, how fare our friends in the first?
So this Becklug's the first to lead an authority on soulcraft, are they? Sounds promising.
And Urianger's proffered solution of white auracite is rather ingenious now that I think of it. Well, while they press on with their preparations, you may rest assured we will continue to do our part here.
Oh, you're back. And none the worse for wear, I see.
Estinian! Oh, thank the gods! We've been worried sick. Did you lose your link pearl or something?
The situation in Garlemald has become more complicated. I was making my escape from the capital when I ran into one of yours, Riol. He thought it best we come straight here.
More complicated how?
Where to begin? After entering the Empire via Razad Han, I went about my mission of investigating Black Rose. It was then, inside a provincial factory, that I encountered the one who styles himself Shadow Hunter, Gaius Baelsar. Our goals being apparently aligned, we joined forces and ventured on into the heart of the capital, to the very Imperial Palace itself. There, we found a man whom all assumed dead. But his soul lives on, and he has wrested back his flesh. Xenos ye Galvas. Nor did the surprises end there. For no sooner had we arrived than he murdered his sire in cold blood. The Emperor is dead. This sent Gaius into a rage, and he charged in, blade drawn. What's wrong?
I don't... Did we see this already or no? I'm not sure if I need to read this. Why wouldn't you just voice this? Come on now. Well, that was pretty baller. I don't think we've seen this, so... But, you know, do I have to read everything? That's right, Mangg was barely a match for this guy. I could have read it, but I would have to turn off the auto text and, you know. Well, that was a pretty cool cutscene. Oh, shit. We're playing as fucking Estinian. Oh, my God. I think we've played as him before, haven't we? Maybe not. Hell. Oh, my God. Can you even believe it? Holy shit. You don't want none of this. See, how often in WoW do you just get to play as, like, Thrall or something? Oh, it's the Scorp tank. Oh, my God. I mean, that's, like, exactly what it looks like, isn't it? These little bodyguards are trying to... Like, what are you doing over there? Think you're gonna hit fucking Estinian? Hey, when I record proper footage, though, I'll have to act properly. I can't just jump around like a goofball. Gotta be cinematic, man. And I'll probably have to look into, like, hiding the HUD. I think you can hide the HUD. With that. System. Scroll lock? That do something? Oh, there you go. I mean, look at that. That's way more cinematic. And I wonder if you can set up, like... Can you set up camera angles to, like, hold? Like, recording this would be good. Although the camera sort of bounces around. Yeah, I mean... I don't know where I'm going. Because I can't see the HUD. But, you know... It's cinematic, baby. Oh shit, that hides the fucking text too. Okay. Okay. Wow. Arch Ultima. Versus Estinian. Place your bets. Powered by Nidhogg. Okay. So, got a few new abilities here. Potency of 3,000. Restores health, does a dot. This is an AoE. And another AoE. Okay. move around a lot. We do the moving around thing. This doesn't seem like an ultimate weapon. Okay, we're fine, I guess. We're fine over here. I gotta get that dot back up. Hold on. You move around a lot. You just have fun with it. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Dot back up. Oh, we're AoEing now? Easy. Well, you know, I can't say it's entirely interesting, but yeah, I guess I thought it would be a little bit more difficult than this. Oh, shit, I fucking spoke. Get out of there. Oh, no. What? What? Oh my God. Are you kidding? Holy shit. Okay, well, we should be able to skip stuff. But still, we're gonna have to do the other bullshit fights. God damn it. No. Why are you jumping to very easy? Why wouldn't you even jump to easy? But no, we have to do it on normal. It's bullshit. Alright, I'll pause. Alright. We are back in it. I think maybe I should destroy those little bits. Maybe that would be a smarter move. They seemed a little resilient, but I don't know. Insta-death is kind of bullshit. But they are called... I don't know. Well, maybe they're not resilient. Okay. Self-detonate, yeah. We're not gonna make it. Okay, I think, it's just AoE damage, and if you didn't kill enough, you die. Alright, and we didn't kill like any last time. Alright, we got it all figured out. Oh, shit. Fuck. Okay. Alright, it got a little spicy here, didn't it? Didn't it? I was making fun of it. Look at Estinian just soloing this raid boss. Vulnerable. Okay, well that's bad. Limit break. Dragon Shadow Dive. Oh.
Taste my lance!
That'll do it.
Are you all right?
Peer into my past, did you?
Well, I didn't quite relive the experience as you did, but I bore witness to it all.
I'm still not sure what I think of this gift of yours, but no matter. Our confrontation was cut short when the Imperial Guard arrived. It was then that Xenos took his leave, citing boredom.
To think their research into the Echo could bear such fruit. Escaping death, jumping from one body to the next, and returning to his own after all this time. He is an Ascian in all but name.
It beggars belief, aye. But no more than a hero traversing the rift between worlds. My concerns are far more prosaic. With the Emperor dead and the Crown Prince missing, the Empire is in disarray. Until order is restored, assuming it even possible, we needn't fear an Imperial reprisal. And for reasons of his own, Xenos took it upon himself to rid the world of Black Rose. Riol has already gone to apprise the Alliance leaders of these developments. We may leave the matter in their hands for now.
Then perhaps we have seen the last of the fighting at Gimlet. Though, if it comes to civil war, I cannot help but fear for the provinces. Ah, I'd nearly forgotten to ask. What became of Gaius? Did he not escape with you?
That he did, but we parted ways shortly after leaving Garlemald. He claimed another threat had arisen which demanded his attention. He didn't elaborate, but the absence of some device or other in the capital gave him reason to believe they're planning something. Lest you worry, I believe he has well and truly shed the Black Wolf's pelt. Conquest is no longer his objective. We may safely leave him to his own devices.
Well, it's nice to have one less foe to worry about, even if we do have a mysterious new threat to look out for instead. Speaking of which, I'll see that Riol and our shinobi are made aware. Though we still know next to nothing, it can't hurt to be vigilant.
Well then, with Black Rose nipped in the bud, I believe I've fulfilled my part of the bargain.
That's true, but With the Archon still slumbering away, we were hoping you might agree to stay with us for a little bit longer.
Sorry, but I'm not inclined to extend my contract. Gaius isn't the only one with business to attend to.
Thank you for your help then, Estinian. I see why Alphino admires you so.
Farewell, my friend. See that you don't make a habit of dozing off in battle.
It wasn't my fault, dude.
I suppose we should all be getting on then. As ever, we will see to the Archon's needs. In the meantime, why not get some rest? You've more than earned it. Go on.
Alright. You must be shattered after all that hopping back and forth between worlds. Why not stay here and rest for a while? I'm sure Beck Lug can manage without you. They've got enough science to help them if you ask me. Pay me. Meanwhile, in Garlemald... Oh. Guess I can read this. Onward! Before this day is done, victory shall be ours. Boring, boring, boring. Do you think? I find it amusing, like dogs herding cattle to the slaughterhouse. That hue, your soul is... Who are you? Before your majesty, I am but another dog, lost in want of a new master. A hunting dog, if you should wish it so. For I know full well the prey you would seek next. Zodiac. Meanwhile, in Yulmore in the first... Did you hear? The mayor's reopening Daedalus Stoneworks, and they're looking for laborers. There's talk of resettling some of the old abandoned villages, too. They're even laying on free Talos to help anyone willing to make the move. Free Talos? Ha! We'd best get packing. Steady work, board, and lodging? If that's not a recipe for hope, I don't know what is. Hope? Yes, so long as I yet live, I would see that feeble flame rekindled. It is my destiny to see our dream fulfilled. Black and white, baby. The profile title, okay. Of virtuous deeds. No, I still like Sunless Sea. It's just kind of cool. Alright. Old enemies, new threats. Mangg, my, what a pleasant surprise. If you've come to inquire after the Archons, fear not. Master Matoya's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing their corporeal ether. We mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work. If only we could go with you to the first and help. Pardon the interruption, but I come bearing urgent news. Ah, Mangg, it has been far too long, my friend. Forgive me, I don't believe we've been formally introduced. Maxima, former Garlean ambassador. I remain here in Eorzea under the auspices of Commander Aldine, offering what counsel I can in the hopes of resolving the present conflict with the Empire. Ah, yes. I have heard stories of a defector from Garlemald. But never mind that. You said you have urgent news. Indeed. As you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of the Garlean forces have been recalled from the Gimlet Dark. With their number so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance is withdrawn, leaving the Alamegan resistance to keep watch over the border. And it is there we have welcomed a most unexpected visitor who claims that this de-escalation may belly growing dangers and unforeseen threats. Belly? Commander Aldine has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations. He has also requested a representative of the Scions attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished I extend this invitation. It would seem time is of the essence. Well, you'll not be attending this meeting alone. Though I am not as well versed in the affairs of city-states as our comrades, I see no reason to burden a single scion with all this. Yes, of course. And we must make for the Alamegan quarter with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two. Yeah, me and Cryle. Conquering the world together. Commander Aldine awaits us in the Royal Palace, if you would follow me.
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark. Not that I understand half of it. When the Scions spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured. Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury. I trust you two require no introduction.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea. Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows, and brought more than 2 companions. We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence. Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight, but to me his description seemed anything but, and upon further investigation I found that I was right. The Empire is developing a new Ultima weapon.
What, that Allagan monstrosity, created to vanquish primals, with which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascians' pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets, and that should have been the end of it. But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
Indeed, few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandarnus, and its leadership has changed hands several times since. Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery. What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea. We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
Why not just get Estinian on it?
And right glad are we that you did, though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope. Before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them. But the fact remains that you, and you alone, have faced the Ultima weapon, and emerged victorious. We need you. And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
The Ascians' downfall was to be the work of my remaining days, but it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further. I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all, even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima weapon, our friend's plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first. I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
Dude, I beat the Ultima weapon like every day. It's not that big of a deal. As ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of a new Ultima weapon, but with each passing day, the plight of the Scions grows ever more perilous. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the Ultima weapon, I will not stop you. I only ask that you confer with me before returning to the first. Alright. Oh, what did this guy... Ruby Doomsday. What is that? Okay, that unlocks... Oh, okay. So that's the fight. That's the fight against the new Ultima weapon, which is the Ruby weapon. From Final Fantasy VII, I guess. Did the Ruby weapon ever make another appearance? Final Fantasy VII, yeah, with the Emerald weapon. I remember. I know that. Okay, yeah, this is the only other appearance. Cool. Well, you know, there's just so many fucking... I mean, once you've, like, caught up and you've done everything, then, like, a new patch comes out and there's, like, a new dungeon and a new trial or something. And then you can just do that. And, you know, you have, like, weeks and weeks to do it before the next patch. So it's easy to stay current once you've done everything. But, like, starting the game now, fresh, there's just so much shit. And most of it's, like, not relevant anymore. I mean, you always get these tokens and things like that, so it's never like not worth doing, and the fights are usually cool, of course, but yeah, for now, the way home. I take it you're ready to return to the first. Then I would ask that you apprise the others of recent events here in the source, namely Xenos' return and the development of a new Ultima weapon. As for their bodies, you may assure them Master Matoya and I will continue doing what we can to keep their corporeal ether stable. Safe travels, Mangg. I hope to see you and the other Scions soon. Alright. Just press buttons. I mean, we're handing in this quest here, so that was pretty quick. You've come at a most opportune time, my friend. I've made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul and a means to return to the Scion's home. I trust you too have been making good use of your time. Sure. Ill tidings from the source, you say? Then I will summon the others that we might all be apprised of the situation. Yes, do that.
Now that we are all here, what news from the source? A new Ultima weapon? We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion. Thanks in large part to Urianger and Becklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white aurosite, but without its regrettable limitations. And after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An ark for soul and mind both that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will. However...
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allagan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within aurosite or any other crystal.
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allagan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found. Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
My apologies.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness. But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
Oh, Lena. Alright. Well, next time we'll see what's up with Lena. And we'll do plenty more quests of 5.2. And then I think in the video after that, we should be able to wrap up 5.2 and do a dungeon. That'll be fun. Then you got 5.3, which is 12 quests, a dungeon, and a trial. And then we have 5.4, which comes out in a few days. So I'd like to be done with 5.3 by the time 5.4 comes out, which I think is doable. And then I'd like to be done with 5.4 within, you know, a few days. So then I can be caught up for the most part and shift my focus to this grand series that I have in mind of playing through it all again. That'll be great. Anyways, my name is Mangg. Game watching has been Final Fantasy XIV. See you fine folks in the next part.